Welcome to another episode of What Even Is D&D. Today's episode is online versus in person. So, you have options with online and in person, and both of them have their positives and both of them have their drawbacks. So, in person, obviously, you work with miniatures or whatever you can get your hands on, maps, and dice. And that's all fine and dandy. That's the way it started out. But there's also the option for playing online through virtual tabletops. Um, there's a bunch of different virtual tabletops you can get through. Just to list a few, there is D&D Beyond has their own maps. Roll20 is a popular one, and there's Owlbear Rodeo. There's multiple others, ranging from paid to unpaid. Um, and as long as your system can run them, that's good. So, how to choose between them? Well, oftentimes the choice comes down to availability. Now, when I say that, what do I mean? Well, do you have people available to you to play in person? Do you have schedules that line up in person? If either of those are no, online might be a better option because you have a bigger group of people to pull from. And in doing so, you can find somebody whose schedules line up and you don't have to worry about going to somebody's house or even setup. With a virtual tabletop, you can prepare maps ahead of time if you're the DM, or not have to worry about it if you're the player. Um, you don't have to worry about miniatures. Uh, there's a lot of good things to in person too, though. Sometimes worrying about miniatures is fun. Um, a tiny little version of your character. Some people will have them made up and they'll paint them. That in itself can become a hobby. And there's something about being in person that it's a lot of fun too. Hanging out with a group of friends, having some snacks, and playing D&D is great. You can see facial expressions, acting out more than just voice, more than just image on a screen. You can see more subtle movements. There's a lot more you can do. Now, that's not saying that playing online is bad, because it opens up a lot of possibilities. You don't have to set up for anything. You don't have to worry about for snacks for everybody, just yourself. Like, hey, I bought a pizza, everybody has a slice, or just, I eat whatever I want. Um, with not having to be in person, depending on if you're going to do a camera or not, you don't have to be on camera. For instance, when my group currently, when we play, we just have our avatars up on screen. It doesn't really take away from it. Um, we kind of do mainly a lot of the role play through voice, and it still works out. Um, they're both completely different things, but they're mostly the same too. Uh, it can be hard to decide, but like I said, it really comes down to what's available to you. If you don't have a lot of people around you interested in playing D&D, uh, then you can do online, or if you have a group around you, you could still play online. Um, it's also what you're comfortable with. Online, there's a lot of free options where you don't really need anything to start except for your character. So you don't need dice because there's digital dice rollers. You don't need a figurine because there's already tokens that you can put on there, or you can upload an image. Um, the maps are there. It's just finding, and I will get into finding a group in another video, and also in another video I'll plan on going deeper into the different virtual tabletops that you can access. But for today, I just want to touch more on deciding. Now, I've played both online and in person, and in person I've only ever been a player, and online I've been a player and a DM or GM, if you will. And in person has, like I said, a lot of fun to it. But it can also be more distracting. Not to say that you don't get distracted online, trust me. But therein lies a drawback with online. If everybody's getting distracted and you don't want to talk over everybody else, you can't just be like, hey, or, whatever you want to motion, you've got to use your voice to speak up or maybe type something. You are limited that way, but you can come up with creative solutions. It's great. So finding out what you want is the best way to start. Some people aren't comfortable being in person. That's why online can be great for them. But other people need that interaction, that social interaction to help them. And a lot of times you can build off each other, but it doesn't have to be in person or online. So ultimately, it just comes down to preference and choice and availability. There's a lot of options out there, and a quick Google search can show you a lot. And in a future video, like I said, I will talk more about it. But for now, I think that's a good starting place. You can figure out what you want and go from there. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I will do my best to answer. If you've just started looking into D&D and you found this video by asking what D&D is on Google or YouTube, you may want to start with the first video that I have in the playlist I have linked. At the end of the video, it'll pop up somewhere around here. Each video I've been trying to touch base just a little bit so that it's not overwhelming and you can learn a little bit every day. However, if you're looking for something specific like this, it's a good place to start. But we'll have the playlist up so you can check it out if you want to. I welcome all questions down in the description. I will be covering more topics soon. But yeah, that about covers it. Actually, a couple other things to mention and consider when it comes to virtual versus in person. Content, for instance, digital copies of books. Now, you don't have to go with D&D, but I am, for purposes of explaining this, going with D&D. You can get the player's handbooks online in digital form, not have to worry about spilling anything on them, whatnot. But there's something also really nice about being able to open a book and just flip through the pages. And some people are better with finding stuff in physical books, or they just prefer it. I like digital because I can just, do a quick search into the content and then find what I need. But I like both. And I'd recommend trying both. But thank you so much for joining me again. If you like this video, please like. Comments down below are welcome. And if you want to see more content, feel free to subscribe. Now, like I said, playlist should be around here, recommended video, and my channel if you want to subscribe. I'll see you guys again for another What Even Is D&D. Catch you guys next time.